Last time, I left you somewhere lonely. We'd outlived every other kind of human. The Neanderthals, the Denisovans, the little hobbits. All of them. Gone. 8 billion of us, and not one other kind of us left to talk to. The last humans in the family. I also promised you a monster, an invisible one, older than we are. That's killed more of us than everything else combined. Relax, it's still coming, but it can wait one more winter, because I left something out of that lonely ending. We were never really alone. Long before the last of our cousins vanished, in the coldest dark we ever knew, we found a new kind of family. It wasn't human. It had 4 legs, a tail, and it was every bit as scared of us as we were of it. The most important friendship in human history didn't start with a handshake. It started with a wolf. Deciding not to run. And here's the claim. I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes proving to you that one decision, one hungry wolf, staying, is a big part of the reason our species made it through the Ice Age at all. So let's answer it properly. How did one wolf save the human race? By the end of this, 3 things happen. You'll find out your dog literally domesticated itself. You'll meet a puppy who died 14,000 years ago and changed what we know about love. And you'll never look at the thing asleep on your couch the same way again. Also, yes, that thing on your couch is descended from an apex predator that used to eat people. It's very funny. We'll get there. Picture a human camp, 40,000 years ago, from the wolf's side of the dark. To a wild wolf, a human camp is the single most terrifying place in the world. Fire, which nothing else on earth controls. Spears. And a dozen loud, upright pack hunters who cooperate exactly the way you do. Except they've got tools. Every instinct a wolf is born with screams the same word. Away. Monster. In the dark. It has eyes. Beans. Everything has eyes. Not like that. And to be fair, Beans is looking at an apex predator. A grown wolf can bring down an animal 10 times its weight. It hunts in a coordinated pack. It is faster than you, it hears 4 times as far as you, and it smells a world you can't even imagine. If it wanted the camp gone, the camp would have a very bad night. So why is it here, instead of running? One word. Winter. This is the Ice Age. Food is scarce, and starving changes your math. And there's one thing a human camp produces that nothing else in the frozen landscape does. Garbage. Bones. Scraps. Guts we didn't want. A warm, reeking, all-you-can-eat pile at the edge of the light. So one wolf, hungrier or bolder, or just wired a little differently than the rest, does the math the whole pack was too afraid to do. It decides the risk is worth the meal. And it stays. 2 humans, 2 instincts. Sable wants to throw the spear, and, honestly, smart. Safe. That is exactly how you stay alive out here. But Juno says, wait, and that one small choice, not throwing the spear, is the hinge the entire future of our species is about to swing on. Here's the part everyone gets wrong, so let's kill the myth right now. We did not tame the wolf. There is no brave caveman who wrestled a snarling predator into a golden retriever. That's a bedtime story. What actually happened is stranger, and honestly more beautiful. The wolves tamed themselves. Think about which wolf gets to eat at that garbage pile. Not the aggressive one. It charges too soon. A human throws a rock. It goes hungry. Not the terrified one. It never gets close enough. The wolf that eats is the calm one. The one that can stand to be near us without panicking and without attacking. The friendly one. And the calm wolf that eats survives the winter. Survives the winter. Has pups. And calm parents tend to have calm pups. Repeat that across thousands of camps, over hundreds and hundreds of years, and you've built a machine that does one thing automatically. It rewards friendliness with food, and food with a future. Scientists have a name for it. Survival of the friendliest. For once, the meek really did inherit the earth. Or at least the leftovers. And we're not guessing about this, because someone ran the experiment. In 1959, a Soviet scientist named Dmitry Belyaev started breeding silver foxes on one single rule. Only the calmest, least fearful foxes were allowed to have babies. That's it. He selected for friendliness. Nothing else. Within about 10 generations, a blink, the foxes started to change. And not just in temperament. They developed floppy ears, curly, wagging tails, patchy, piebald coats, shorter snouts. They started barking. They licked the scientist's hands. By breeding for nothing but a kind heart, he'd accidentally recreated a dog. He was trying to make a friendly fox. He made, essentially, a slightly confused puppy. That's how tightly friendliness and dog are wired together. Belyaev proved in a lab, in a single human lifetime, the exact thing the Ice Age did to wolves over thousands of years. So the wolf keeps coming back. And then something happens that nobody planned. It turns out to be useful. First, sanitation. That rotting garbage pile used to attract bigger, worse predators. Hyenas, big cats, rival scavengers. The wolf cleans it up. It's turning the thing that made camp dangerous into its own dinner. Free security, disguised as a garbage disposal. And then, one night, this happens. Something dangerous creeps toward camp, and the wolf hears it first. Ears that reach 4 times farther than ours, a nose that reads the wind. It sounds the alarm before a single human even rolls over. A deal that neither side ever said out loud has just been signed. You warn us. We feed you. Nobody negotiated it. Nobody could. They didn't share a single word. They just both showed up again the next night. And the next, which, honestly, is more commitment than I've seen in most human relationships. Still think you're a monster. He'll come around. Okay, friends. Adorable. But I told you this wolf saved the human race, and that's a big claim. So let me actually back it up. Because a dog doesn't just make life nicer. In the Ice Age, a dog rewrites your survival odds, and it does it in about 4 different ways at once. 1. Hunting. A dog's nose finds game in seconds that would take a human tracker all day. And once it's found, the dog can chase, corner, and hold prey, while the hunters close in. Suddenly, a hunt that came back empty comes back fed. In fact, some scientists think this was such a massive advantage that it tipped the scales in one of the biggest contests in our history. Remember the Neanderthals, stronger than us, and they'd survived the cold for 300,000 years? One hypothesis says the thing we had that they didn't was dogs, a hunting partner that turned us into a 2-species super predator. It's debated, but sit with it for a second. We might have outcompeted another kind of human, in part because we made a friend. 2. An alarm system that never fully sleeps. 3. Warmth, a body next to you in the killing cold of a Pleistocene night. And 4. The quiet one. Sleep. When something with better ears and a better nose is on watch, humans can finally sleep deeply, and a well-rested band hunts better, thinks better, and survives better the next day. And here's why that matters so much. We've said it before on this channel. Back then, the entire human species was balanced on a knife's edge. Not millions of us, maybe a few thousand. When your whole species could fit in a stadium, you don't need a miracle to go extinct. You just need a run of bad nights. So a slightly better chance every single night isn't small. A child who survives one more winter, a hunt that doesn't come back empty, a warning that comes 10 seconds early. Do that 1,000 times, across 1,000 camps, for 1,000 years. And a slightly better chance every night doesn't just help. It's the difference between a species that fades out in the dark and one that's still here, 8 billion strong, watching a video about it. Now, everything I've told you so far is a story we reconstruct from bones and behavior. But there's one piece of evidence that isn't a reconstruction. It's a grave. And it changes everything. In 1914, in a place called Oberkassel, in Germany, workers found a burial from the end of the Ice Age, around 14,000 years old. In it, a man and a woman, and buried carefully with them, a dog, not eaten, not discarded, buried with them, like family. The oldest dog we've ever found laid to rest beside its humans, but that's not even the part that gets me. When scientists studied that dog's teeth, they realized it had been a puppy, and that puppy had survived a brutal disease. Canine distemper, an illness that would have left it helpless for weeks, unable to eat on its own, unable to keep warm, useless for hunting, useless for guarding, a sick baby animal that could give its humans nothing, and it survived. Which means, 14,000 years ago, somebody spent weeks of a hard Ice Age winter keeping a sick puppy alive, feeding it by hand, keeping it warm, for no survival reason at all. They did it because they loved it. That grave isn't evidence of a tool. It's the oldest physical proof we have of affection between our species and another. The relationship was never really about garbage, or guarding, or hunting. Somewhere along the way, it became love, and they buried it in the dirt 14,000 years ago for us to find. And here's the twist most people miss. This wasn't a one-way street. The wolves changed to fit us, but we changed to fit them too. Take one small, incredible thing. Pointing. If you point at something, your dog looks where you're pointing. That sounds like nothing. Until you learn that our closest relatives, chimpanzees, mostly can't do it. But dogs read that human gesture better than almost any animal alive, including wolves. They evolved, specifically, to read us. It goes deeper, right down into the chemistry. When you and your dog look each other in the eyes, both of your brains release oxytocin, the same bonding hormone that fires between a parent and a baby. We accidentally built a feedback loop of affection with a former predator. You look at your dog, you both feel love, so you look again. That's not a metaphor. That's your bloodstream. So the monster was a friend the whole time? The monster was a friend the whole time? Beans. I'm not crying, you're crying. I might be. A little. We didn't tame them. We met them in the middle. They were becoming dogs at the exact same time we were becoming the kind of people a dog could love. And somewhere in all of that, it stops being about survival at all. Pip gives him a name. Waffle. And Waffle starts sleeping next to Pip, not next to the food, which, if you know Waffle, is the single most romantic gesture he is capable of. The first working animal in history was also, quietly, the first friend, and the band survives another winter, not because the wolf made them stronger, because it made them warmer. In every sense of the word. Quick thing, from us to you. If Waffle here just made you want to go hug your dog, do him one favor, smash that like, and hit subscribe. We put one of these out every single day, and subscribe is how you actually get them, and how you keep this little band alive for one more winter. Waffle says he'll be so good if you do. He's lying. He's never once been good. Subscribe anyway. So, how did one wolf save the human race? Not with a single heroic act. It saved us the way real things save you. Slowly. A better hunt here. A warning there. A warm body on the worst night. A reason to sleep. A friend when we were the loneliest species on the planet. And every dog alive today, all 1 billion of them, every golden retriever, every 3-legged street pup, every tiny purse dog in a raincoat that has clearly never known fear, traces back to this. A wolf that did not run. A band that did not throw the spear. 2 frightened species deciding, without a single word, that they were safer together than apart. All of it, born from the worst winter our species ever survived. So the next time your dog does something profoundly stupid and looks up at you with total confidence, remember, that leash in your hand is 40,000 years long, and the other end of it is tied to the moment we stopped being alone. We didn't conquer the wolf. We didn't win. We made a friend. And it helped carry us through the dark, which might be the most human thing we have ever done. He's asleep. Of course he's asleep. Now, about that invisible monster I made you wait on. Next time, we finally face it. The oldest enemy we have. It's smaller than a grain of sand, older than our whole species, and it has killed more humans than every war, every winter, and every predator combined. Get StickWise.